Yo, 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 we back. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's your boy Beezus.
And it's Jeremy.
And we are here to do what we do as always, and that's talk that sports.
Yes. Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking some sports today. Just so everyone knows, it should be up today on Christmas Eve, but we are recording here right now on Christmas Eve. So
Let's
Merry
go.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to y'all.
I know Brandon's one of the biggest family and friends people I know, especially holidays and stuff. So, I know you're excited. You ready?
No, not yet. Still got gifts to get. Keeping it real light this year. We got a baby coming, so all of my attention is going to my little one. Sorry, everybody. You probably won't be getting gifts this year from me. I am the gift. Come give me a hug or something. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, listen, that'll become a thing that is just a natural thing for you. You'll see that as the baby gets going and everything. Me and my siblings, I remember talking about my brother, conversation we had, like, man, concentrate on your kids, man. I don't need any gifts,
Right.
Same thing with my parents. Like, my parents still give me, like, stuff and still do stuff for us on Christmas. But I just to me, it's all about the kids. I try to do stuff for the kids. Me and Kate do some small stuff for each other, but it's a big concentration on the kids and all that stuff. So you'll find that coming forward, and you'll find the gifts get more and more and more expensive as they get older.
Well, this kid's getting one gift. Next year this time, she'll be one, about to turn one, so she's going to get maybe one gift. Yeah, she's one. She's probably going to want to play with the box more than the gift. What are we talking about?
You say that now.
One.
But you also have, I know your parents are going to spoil the whatever out of that child.
That's them. Let them do that. Hi, Grandma and Grandpa. Get the money ready. Get the checks ready. Okay? And get ready because we want to take. We're gonna be our money is going to the future of her. Like, she wants to go to college or she's gonna need to go to prom. I'm gonna be right there in the bushes. Don't worry about it. She's gonna want a car most likely. I mean, I'm just thinking far in the future. So yeah.
We've already rehearsed those scenes with the prom stuff with my daughter and everything. My daughter wouldn't even let me know where boys were picking her up and stuff like that because she was scared that me and you were going to show up.
Yeah.
We were trying to do that, either the bad boy scene or the den of thieves scene.
Right.
Dude walks in the garage with like 6 dudes working out.
All hard criminals.
So that's the kind of stuff we'll find a way. We'll get out there. But, one of the things that we're going to start with in the sports world, and we have to apologize a little bit. I got a couple call-outs saying that we've been talking about college football.
Which we love. We love these comments.
And we love it. Please, yes, if you see something that you want us to talk about, please let us know. And I'll let you know, I used to be a massive college football guy. I don't follow it quite as much as I used to. I still watch some games and stuff like that. I still watch the big games, watch certain teams. But it's been tough for me, especially with the son in the baseball recruiting world and, watching it all happen with my daughter when she was doing the softball stuff. With this transfer portal and everything else, it's harder to, you can't get, to me, it's always been about getting attached to players.
Right.
And same thing in, football and baseball. In basketball for you, you're a big Tatum guy.
Oh, yeah.
You get attached to these big players. For me, I'm a baseball guy. Aaron Judge is my guy. Derek Jeter was my guy. Those were in college football, it's hard now. There's hardly any players that stay in one spot, especially the big players. One guy stays in one spot for the whole time because they're transferring out every week.
These NIL deals, man. I mean, it's a lot of people say it helps the game, but a lot of people are saying that it hurt the game, especially some of the older players that they paved the way for some of these universities to have these kids come and want to be like some of these greats that came before them. And now they're saying, here we go. If they don't like one thing this week, they're going to tell the coach, well, I'm out of here. So-and-so wants to offer me $2 million to go and play just to sign. I'm going.
And then they'll play 4 games.
Right.
Because you have to play the 5th game, makes you ineligible. You lose that year of eligibility. But if you only play 4 games and then, the other team doesn't match the offer you want, you saw it at UNLV this year, or they didn't pay out the amount they said, he dipped out after 4 games and went somewhere else and still can use eligibility. In my opinion, unless it's an injury thing, if you play 1 game, you've used your eligibility.
You're on the team. That's it.
That's it. You've used your eligibility. Now, if you have a ACL tear,
right,
something that puts you out for the year after a game or 2, I'm all about giving them the 1 more year of eligibility. I think that's only right. But these guys are saying, oh, well, I didn't get my nil money yet, or oh, this place is offering me more no money next year, I'm dipping out. That's ridiculous. We got to stop that. But that being said, there was the college football playoff started this past weekend, Friday and Saturday. No real surprises over anything. I mean, everyone kind of did what they thought they were supposed to.
Yep.
All 4 games were none of them were really competitive, and that's because just like I saw Lane Kiffin from Mississippi. He sent out a thing like, "Oh, this is like something like this is fun to watch." When Notre Dame was putting a beat down on Indiana, and there was 5 or 6 teams that had 1 or 2 losses that people were really questioning. How did they get in over? They had 2 losses. Alabama, Mississippi had 3 losses, and they're wondering how they got in. Like Indiana, they played 1 ranked team all season long. They played Ohio State, and they lost by 23 points.
And it shows.
And they ended up losing 27-17 to Notre Dame, and it wasn't as close as the score pointed out. Even Notre Dame didn't play a tough schedule this year. I think they got lucky they played each other because, Texas played Clemson. Clemson played in a weak ACC this year. Clemson ended up only getting in. They were only getting in because they won the ACC, so they get an automatic bid, and Texas smacked them from the get-go, Texas now being in the SEC. Played one of the easier SEC schedules, and then you had Ohio State destroying Tennessee 42-17, and Penn State destroying SMU 38-10, and SMU was definitely one of the biggest ones. People said they played 1 ranked team basically the whole season. It was the last game against Clemson, who was ranked at the time like 20th, and they lost. Meanwhile, Alabama played, I believe it was 6 or 7 ranked teams. They beat 4 of them or 5 of them, and they lost to a couple teams that finished unranked, but they were in the SEC. A 6-6 team in the SEC is equivalent to like 10-3 team or 9-3 team in all the other conferences.
Right.
So, but those ones came in. I think the games will be a lot more competitive this week. You have Oregon, who's the only undefeated team going into all this. Oregon has looked very tough. They played, in the Big Ten, which is them and the SEC are the 2 toughest conferences. Good luck picking which one's tougher. They played Ohio State already. That's who they're playing this week. Probably the game of the week. Ohio State comes in as the 8th seed, which is kind of hilarious because they're still, I think, a top 3 betting favorite to win the national championship behind Oregon and maybe Texas. But I think Ohio State's still Oregon, Ohio State. A lot of people think that this quarterfinal game is the final.
It's the final game. Okay.
So I would say that it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season.
That's facts in any sport.
In any sport. So they won at home at Oregon by 1 point at the end of the game. That being said, Oregon did have a chance to rest up. Ohio State did have to play last week. They did really kill them. Sometimes some people say sitting as long as Oregon had makes them.
It can help. It can hurt you.
It can hurt you. I still think undefeated Oregon does beat Ohio State, but I think it's going to be close. It's going to be just like the last game. It's going to come down the wire. I think Oregon barely pulls it off. They get that Phil Knight no money up there.
Hell yeah, definitely. Nike factories up the street, so they get all exclusive stuff too. I love that.
I'm gonna say Oregon. It's gonna be high scoring. I'm thinking like 42-38. It's just gonna be something crazy like that.
I love games like that. Just a shootout.
So that game is on I believe Saturday on New Year's Day on Wednesday next week, guys. That's a New Year's Day game. 3 out of 4 of these games are on New Year's Day. They do have 1 game on New Year's Eve. I believe that is the Texas-Arizona State game. Texas-Arizona State, to me, that one's not even going to be close. Texas is going to
destroy Mollywop.
Arizona State coming out of, I don't even, which conference? Big 12, I believe. I lost track. They all switched so many conferences this year. Arizona State played a very, very weak schedule. They only got the 4 seed. They're ranked like 11th, but they got the 4 seed because they won. They were one of the top 4 ranked conference teams, so they got a first-round bye, which they really need to fix that. To me, the top 4 teams in the country, the 4 best teams,
right,
need to have the bye. Not, you won your conference. The top 4 ranked conference winners get the 4 byes. So you have probably your best 2 teams playing each other in the second round now in Oregon, Ohio State.
Yep.
Versus, Ohio State, because they lost the game to Michigan at the very end. Oregon won the Big Ten, just because Ohio State plays in that conference doesn't mean they should be punished and dropped to the 8 seed. Arizona State gets the 4 seed. Makes 0 sense.
None whatsoever.
And we'll talk more about that same concept in NFL here in a minute. But but I got Texas destroying Arizona State. Then you have Penn State and Boise State.
Boise's got a great running back.
They got a phenomenal running back, and they're going to have to lean on him pretty heavy. He did have a massive game against Oregon, but other than that, he hasn't had a lot of teams that he's played that's had really good run defenses. They actually gave Oregon quite a run. They only lost by 3 points to Oregon. Shows you Oregon's schedule. Oregon, that was their out-of-conference schedule. They had, they played all them teams in the Big Ten, including Ohio State, and then they also had Boise State, who's the 3 seed. But once again, Boise State didn't play as much. Penn State, their only loss this year, I believe, was Ohio State. That conference is freaking crazy. So, I'm going to go Penn State in this one. I think Penn State probably wins it pretty easily, but you never know with a running back like
exactly.
Deontay. So,
electrifying running back like that. I'm going to go Boise State just because. Let's keep it interesting.
Last one, you got the 7 seed Notre Dame versus number 2 Georgia. Georgia won the SEC, but here's where it's tough for the Georgia one. Carson Beck, their starting quarterback, is out. He's having elbow surgery. Now, obviously, in a place like Georgia, their backup quarterbacks are also blue chip,
Next man up.
5-star guys.
Let's go.
I think he had to finish up. He played the second half of the SEC championship game, so he's no slouch. Being that they're playing Notre Dame, I'm going to take Georgia because, number one, I hate Notre Dame. Notre Dame is the equivalent of Boston. Everything for me.
Every week.
I don't like Notre Dame. Hate. I don't like Boston teams. Nothing against the players. I give Tatum his love.
Go New England.
I give Brady his love. I give Ortiz his love. But the teams, I hate them.
Because they win.
That's probably correct.
Because they win.
That's how you know you made it. We
Winners.
say it all the time.
No, if you're doing something, they hating on you.
Yep. So, the only other team that doesn't win that I hate on is the Dallas Cowboys.
Eliminated. Come join us right over here.
But yeah, I'll take Georgia over Notre Dame, even with the backup quarterback.
I'm going to go Georgia as well. That's Pop's team. Go Bulldogs.
They'll be right up there. I think that Georgia, if they had Carson Beck, I think that they would be the team competing in the finals against Oregon or Ohio State. Penn State's got a good chance in there. Don't think Texas is going to be able to compete when it gets in the long run, but you never know. In Texas, they got some their backup quarterback may be as good as their starting quarterback. They got Arch Manning down there.
Okay, yeah.
The backup, he'll be the starter probably. He'll probably be the starter next year.
Right. He's getting paid.
I think he's the highest nil quarterback in college football, and he ain't even playing.
Not even playing, man. Amazing.
Isn't that insane?
Amazing.
So, but like I said, I think Oregon's the team to beat. Ohio State, I think, is going to be their toughest competitor this week, but, that could also be a trap. They win this week, they might lose the final week thinking that they've made it through that gauntlet.
Right.
But, it's different this year. You play 12 games in the regular season. You could play as many as 3-4 more games down the stretch. If you're some of these teams that played in the first round, you could end up playing 15, 16 games this year. So you're going to end up playing almost an NFL schedule. But, back in the day, it used to just be 10, 11 games.
Well, you're getting paid for it now.
No hate.
You're getting paid for it. So play those extra games. You're a millionaire now.
But Giante does have a chance. I think he's like 140 yards or something close to that, from 148 yards from breaking Barry Sanders' record for most yards in a season, which is incredible. I will throw out there, this will be in his 14th game.
Barry did it in what?
11 games. But still, it's still incredible. You're talking about running for 2,600 yards.
Yeah, for sure.
In 14 games, you're still averaging 170, 180 yards a game.
You're going crazy.
He's averaging almost 8 yards a carry.
Crazy.
So
they're first down every time he touches the ball.
Yeah. So it's not that. I'm not going to sit here and downplay what he's done. He's been incredible this year. But you're talking about Barry Sanders, who, in my opinion, is the best running back ever to play.
Gotcha.
You're going to get pushes from like Jim Brown and Walter Payton,
right,
and Emmitt Smith people and stuff like that, because they had, Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton had more yards. But if Barry Sanders would have played 2 more seasons, he would have beat them all out, and he would have still been 4 less seasons than all those guys.
I still like Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson was injury. He could have been great,
Ah.
but injury. He was doing the baseball and the football thing.
Demon. What an athlete you have to be to play two sports like that. I mean,
To be the best in the world
God.
at two different things.
Yeah, I mean, I look at people hitting a ball. To me, the respect I have for a baseball player. Last time I went to the batting cages and I put it on medium, and I don't think I touched the ball once on medium. By the time the ball got by me, the bat was coming off my shoulder. I'm like, oh, did it? Is it? Oh, it's already behind me. So it just blows my mind that you can excel at two hard sports like that. It's nuts.
Like Brandon knows that. Like I will be the first person to go on Facebook, and if I see some kind of idiocy, I will definitely go back and forth and comment on it. I don't like to hate on people, but I don't think it's hate when someone makes a ridiculous, stupid comment. The other day, they said there was something about the post where Deion Sanders said the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a
baseball,
hit a fastball.
Yeah.
And this guy throws up on there. He was like, I don't really think it's that hard to hit a fastball. I own a training facility, and if you practice it every day, you should be able to hit it. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like,
here we go.
So, I hate to throw a guy's business under the bus, but I went ahead and I went right on there, and I was like, if anyone is going to see this man for baseball training, and he's supposed to be some kind of baseball academy, you need to walk away, because if he's telling you not hitting a fastball isn't hard, he does not know what he's talking about.
At all.
So you do not want to go and learn from any. I'm not going to throw anyone's names out there. I can't even remember who it was. I don't get that far into it, but that's insane to me. He sat there and said, "Well, you should be able. If you see a fastball and over, you should be able to hit it hard consistently." Well, maybe where you're from, maybe you're from somewhere where they're in Podunk and they're only throwing like 74 miles an hour in high school. I know my son sees low to mid to even upper 80s, and even I got a couple of people touching 90 in high school.
In high school,
like. That every pitcher's throwing, low to mid 80s. I know my son's in the low to mid 80s as a junior at 16 years old.
I couldn't imagine a professional pitcher on the mound, and he's getting ready to pitch me a ball, and I'm like, well, this is easy. This is a home run, baby. If that's the case, then sign me up. Red Sox, please. Like, I'm a hitter then. I could be the next David Ortiz, right? Because it's easy. It's easy. I might as well. Let me go right now.
Let's go try it. I mean, hey.
I'll see.
I actually gave up baseball because it was so fucking easy.
Yeah.
It was simple. I didn't want to play it no more. It just got too easy for me.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. I'm on to the next.
Let me go and work insane. Work my ass off for the next 40 years.
Because I don't want to be a millionaire.
Because baseball was too easy.
It was way too easy. I just passed the game off to somebody else. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, screw it. Whatever. But,
Weird.
Anyway, moving on, we went over the college football thing, guys. We will be starting to get into college basketball as the season heats up. Going into,
go UConn!
Yeah, here we go.
Let's go!
So, we'll get into, as we get into January, we'll get more into the college basketball because I know that's going to be the next thing people are calling for. So we'll get into that January,
Yes,
February, and then obviously in March, that'll be a center topic. Football will be over, basketball will be in, the middle of its season. Baseball will be getting ready to start up, but obviously in March, you got college basketball will be our main topic.
Men and women, because there's some demons on both sides. Oh my goodness, there's so much to talk about.
Oh my
many. I'll give you one little person, well actually two. Juju Watkins.
I knew it was coming. Juju.
Queen Bun. Lord have mercy. This woman she's doing whatever she wants. 6'2", big guard. I mean, coming down court, doing what she wants to do. She kind of reminds me of like a Mello in a sense because she's going to pull up. She's going to take that midi. She's nasty at the midi. I think the midi is one of the...
But the handles.
The handles. Midi, a good midi is something that's so lost in basketball today. Everybody wants to shoot a three. Everybody wants to jelly off the backboard like Kyrie. But why do you think Chris Paul is still in the league? Because that man has one of the best mid-range games in the league.
Tim Duncan, man, made a living on just a simple little bank shot, mid shot, a little mid shot here and there. He just made a living on it. I mean, man won, 4 or 5 championships?
Come on. Speaking of Tim Duncan, shout out James Harden. He just passed him this week, actually, for, I think, 6th in scoring or something like that.
Wow, that's incredible.
Something crazy like that. So, shout out James Harden. I didn't know James Harden I remember he was cooking. No disrespect to James, he's phenomenal, but you kind of forget these guys' numbers once they're not dropping 40 and 50 a night like they used
Well,
to.
and they're also he's never got the chance to win that championship. You know, people get real big on that, and I
Yeah,
agree. I mean,
yeah,
you have to
yeah.
win championships,
Yeah.
but at the same time, only one team gets to win the championship
Every year, that's it.
One team, and that's why it's incredible when you see guys like Steph Curry, who's won it 4 times, and LeBron James, who's been won it 4 times. That's incredible. That's what puts you as an all-time great. Is when you lead teams 4 and 5 times, that's insane. The Tim Duncans 5 times, but I mean, you think about some of the great players in the NBA right now who haven't won it. The Westbrooks,
Yeah.
the Hardens, some of these guys haven't. Damian Lillard, geez, Dame's never won one, has he?
Nope,
No,
not at all.
That's three phenomenal Hall of Famers
Exactly.
that never won it. So you can't take everything just on championships. They're phenomenal players. Yeah, shout out James Harden. He just moved into second place past Miller, Allen, and all them for
For what?
Three
pointers.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's second all time behind obviously
Steph Curry.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
He's like 1,000.
Yeah. I don't think. Well, I mean, who knows? He might, but I don't think so.
Steph Curry gonna have to retire about 5 years before him.
Yep. And also a young lady out of Rutgers, last name McMiller.
Oh yeah.
She has handles like, I mean, they're calling her the female not Steph Curry, the female Kyrie
Kyrie.
Irving. I mean, this woman is putting people's ankles in plastic bags. So I mean, there's so much talent in college coming up. So trust me, there's going to be a lot to talk about in this college world. So please keep watching for that.
I tell you right now, Juju,
Ridiculous.
Hey, Caitlin Clark, get ready to share that spotlight because when that one comes in, wow, I saw some, and we're, I want to keep a little bit more on. I'm going to go a little bit farther on the women here. I saw Caitlin Clark. She got Time Athlete of the Year.
Good for her. Good for her.
Did you see the one comment the one owner of the one WNBA team made? She said, how come they couldn't give it to all the girls in the WNBA? Why did they have to single her out like that?
Because she had an amazing season.
Her rookie season was by far the best rookie season that's pretty much been seen.
Right.
Like in the WNBA. Like, people don't seem to realize that. Like, she had lots of turnovers. Guess what? Steph Curry usually is in the top 2 or 3 turnovers. She also leads one of the best passers, scorers in the NBA. She also led the league in assists in her rookie season. She was also top 10 to 12 in scoring in the WNBA. So, she got Female Athlete of the Year, or I think it was Athlete of the Year for Time Magazine. I can't remember which one it was, but I don't usually distinguish the two. You're an athlete.
You're an athlete. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
she did a phenomenal job. A couple people calling out there saying, she didn't deserve it. Y'all are crazy. She did things that have never been seen before as a rookie and just period in the WNBA. She played phenomenal. Congratulations to her. But like I said, you got something coming. You got some more of these young ones. The only argument I could have was why wasn't Asia Wilson mentioned? Because that woman had an insane season.
Oh yeah, I mean,
she got MVP and everything, but
putting up grown woman numbers every game.
She's throwing up massive numbers. So that would, if you want to make an argument, make that argument.
Right.
But I love the WNBA this past season. It's the most I've ever watched of it. Yes, I'll say Caitlin Clark and in the Angel Reese feud. That's part of it. I want to watch that. I like that. I like the drama.
I love it.
And y'all act like they hate each other. They don't hate each other. They get in each other's face during games because that's what you do.
That's basketball.
That's basketball. I have close friends that I've been chest to chest for, in basketball games, and we ain't even getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine you getting paid to do this. Oh yeah, there's emotions gonna be going. That's what it is. It's part of the game, y'all. We just live in such a PC world now that we can't even talk trash on the ball court because she hates her, or there's some narrative about somebody being racist or something just because we're competing. Like, she just happens to be white and that other woman just happens to be black. Let's look at Magic and Bird. I believe they're some of probably the best friends off the court. But the rivalry was, that's a white man, so I'm going to root for him. And of course, the black community is like, well, we love Magic, so we're going to root for him. Why can't we just root for people because they're good and you love their game? I don't care if you're orange. You can be purple. I don't care. Can you score a bucket? Can you make that great pass? Are you a good teammate? These are the things that I think people should be looking at. But that's just again my opinion.
So I'm going to go into the NBA Christmas games at the end here because you got some great games. But
Right.
to the NFL stuff, NFL throwing some Wednesday games out there.
Let's go. Christmas games, love those.
Christmas games, Christmas Day. I think you have Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Man,
Ooh.
man. Oh, well, we probably should. This past week you had Dallas Cowboys damn won.
But still got
eliminated. So they're still out. We don't have to hear that talk no more. So now I don't have to, whatever, pick against you just because I don't want to hear you
We them boys.
talk about you guys anymore. But they're eliminated. That's hilarious. My Dolphins won.
Okay.
They're not eliminated.
I told you they were going to win. I
Yep.
said that.
Yep, they found a way. They beat San Francisco. They got the win there. They won by 12. I mean, they got a late run that put them in. It was a close game all game. A-Chain broke one loose at the very end. That
Right.
put them up by 12 points. But they got the victory. They came from behind. Won the game. The Chiefs keep doing what the Chiefs do.
Yeah. I mean,
They beat the Texans. I thought the Texans might have a chance of getting them. I was wrong. They scored 27 points. Everyone's like, oh. The other three teams that haven't scored 30 in a game this season all have 2 or 3 wins. The Chiefs are 14-1 and have yet to score 30 points in a game this season. That's insane. It's pretty crazy. But at the same time, that means their defense is playing well,
Right.
and they score when they have to.
finding a way to win. That's the most important part of the game.
Yeah. Chargers beating the Broncos.
Big for them.
Massive game for them because that puts them slightly ahead of the Broncos. They're same record, but here's the thing: this is tough for the Broncos. The Broncos got to get in the playoffs. They're currently 9-6.
Right.
To get in, they have to win one of their last 2 games. Their last 2 games, the Broncos, the Cincinnati Bengals.
They can do that.
They could win that game, but the Bengals are playing tough because the Bengals are the team trying to fight to knock them out of the playoffs.
Right.
Them and the Dolphins and the Colts are the 3 teams trying to find a way in. They're all 2 games down. And the last game the Broncos have is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, unless they sit Mahomes and the starting team, that's the only chance I think they have to win that last.
The NFL would hate it, but Kansas City may sit Mahomes.
They should.
Tomorrow because they're up 2 games.
Right.
Um,
Let them rest.
they need the rest and then try to win the last game because he did hurt. He's got that tweaked ankle. Like, you could play him against Denver at the last game of the season, give him a week's rest. He's coming off. They played on Saturday, so they only have 4 days rest. Why would you risk it? Like,
Don't risk it. That's why
I would sit him. They got Carson Wentz. They could probably win anyway. I mean, they're like I said, they're playing the Steelers though. Steelers is tough. So I think honestly, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take the Steelers.
I'm not. Go Kansas City.
I think the Steelers are in a must-win situation there because they're battling Baltimore for the last game of the season.
They can bring the beer man in. Bring the beer guy in. It's still Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So your guys, they put up a fight.
Go Patriots.
They put up a fight. Maybe they decided they didn't want to win because it messed up their draft pick.
Drake May looked fantastic as always. He was out here throwing dimes. He had a few great passes right on the money. I'm not worried about him. Like I'm going to continue to say this every week. Offensive line.
I knew it was coming.
It starts there. If we don't have anybody blocking for that young man, he can't get through his progressions. He can't make the proper pass. And we actually need people who can catch the ball. I say this every week. We need men who can catch the ball when the ball is thrown to them.
I think right now you guys would be in position to get the second pick.
Well, we need the midgets to win one more. Come on.
The midgets win one more, but you're in second pick. I really think the Giants got to take a quarterback at this point.
They do.
And that would leave, I know you need an
It's
O-line,
the door.
but that would leave Travis Hunter sitting there at number 2 for you.
That's what we need.
He gives you both a cornerback and a star wide receiver.
Yep. Get him and then focus on those fat hogs on the.
And he
on
don't
the
drop
line.
nothing.
Nothing. He needs to drop.
Not
his
even
girlfriend, they
interceptions.
say.
Yeah, well,
That's it.
dude, she's sitting. Who knows? You don't know. That poor woman. Who knows? Maybe she is just in it for the money, whatever.
But who cares?
Who cares? But they were like, oh, she didn't stand up for this. She didn't know what she's supposed to do. Deion Sanders been doing this forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
she didn't know. She has
Brandon
no
over
idea.
here breaking stuff.
Sorry, breaking the mic. Here we go. We're back. Hey,
We're back. Hey,
okay.
we got it. He put shit like that together for a living. So
yeah,
so
it's nothing.
no, I mean Deion Sanders and his wife, like obviously they know what to do. This man played in the NFL, the MLB, was a superstar for Florida State. Like he knows what to do. His wife knows what to do. She didn't know she's supposed to stand up. She's supposed to go see him. Like she did. She doesn't know what she's supposed to do.
Yeah.
She didn't stand up immediately. People like, oh look at that. She don't even care. Come on now.
If that man wants to be with that woman, let him. That's his affairs. Like, we want to see what you're going to do on that football field. Hopefully, you'll look good. I think you'll look great in white, red, and navy. Come on over to the Patriots. You see the flag behind us right here. You see what's going on. We need to get back into these playoff runs. Okay, that's what we need.
Like
it's been too
I
long.
said, I need Denver to lose 2 games, so that way we can win both of our games. We have the Jets, and
It's easy.
that game should be easy. I think the other game's even easier. To be honest with you, I can't remember who we're playing this week, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. But like I said, okay, going on, we have tomorrow's games. He had the Chiefs Steelers. Like I said, he got the Chiefs. I got the Steelers.
Right.
Those games are on Netflix, by the way.
Which is cool. Good for
So,
Netflix.
Good for Netflix.
They're doing a lot of things this year.
I don't think everyone's worried about the buffering problems, dude. There was 5 times more people watching that fight because that's all was going on sports-wise that night.
Right.
I don't think you're going to have the same buffering problems. Although it is Christmas, it is the only football games on at that time. So we'll see. The second game is the Ravens and the Texans in Houston. Good game. I think the Ravens are in full go mode at this point. They've now tied for the lead, and they actually have the lead over Pittsburgh now in that division. I think the Ravens are going to push forward and try to win that division and probably be the 3 seed unless Buffalo just has a complete meltdown at the end of the season here, which I don't see happening.
Yeah, I'm going with Baltimore as well. I think they got what it takes. They know what they need to do. They're rolling, so I'm going to pick them from Christmas.
So you have, Seahawks had a good showing this past week. They lost. They played the Minnesota Vikings, I believe it was. They played them tough, but Minnesota ended up winning. Minnesota's, they should be like a 1 seed, but unfortunately they're not even first in their division right now with Detroit.
Tough division.
So, but you have Seahawks at the Bears. Bears have lost 9 in a row.
Make it 10.
I think you're probably right at 10 in a row, but you never know. Like I said, they got the Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions in their division. So they've had some tough games in that stretch. So you never know. They've been really close in a few games. They lost to the Redskins, aka Commanders, on a Hail Mary at the very end. That was crazy. They've had 2 or 3 games where they had them won, and they young team, young quarterback, young team. They're still figuring things out. I think they'll get it figured out in a year or so. Then you have your Patriots who are playing at home against the Chargers.
Go Pats as always. Do what you need to do. Take this L, but look good doing it.
I wish y'all would win.
Nope.
It's another team that the Dolphins can go ahead of is the Chargers, but I don't see it happening.
Then I pray that we lose.
I think that the Chargers. I think the Chargers end up clinching their playoff spot this week.
Absolutely. Go Patriots.
Got the Broncos at the Bengals.
I'm gonna go Bengals. They're on a roll. Chase and Burrow, they're doing their thing. Just continue to smash stats upon stats. It just sucks that they kind of got this fire late in the season. Something that I know their organization wishes that they were playing like this at the beginning of the season. And they're looking great.
And their defense was horrid for a while there.
Yeah.
They actually played pretty well this past week, but they also Cleveland to me baffles me. They put in they benched Jameis Winston, put in this new quarterback who wasn't a highly touted quarterback coming out of college. They put him in. You had Jameis Winston, and you're getting ready to play a team that's maybe the worst defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you bench him
out,
and you put in this rookie, and they scored 6.
Right. So you should have kept. I think you should just went with
Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati was very appreciative. They basically got a free win. They were up like 14-21 pretty quick in that game.
Yeah.
But the Bengals, I'm with you. I'm going Bengals at home, 1, because I want the Broncos to lose, 2, because I think the Bengals, I don't think anybody wants to see the Bengals in the first round.
Right.
The Bengals need a lot to happen. They need the Broncos to lose both games. They need the Dolphins and the Colts to both lose a game down the stretch in order for them to pass all of them. But if they find a way, by some miracle, to slide in the playoffs, do you want to be the 2 seed that's playing Cincinnati? Which right now would be Buffalo having to play Cincinnati in the first round of the playoffs.
They can knock Buffalo off.
Woo! I know Buffalo's sitting there going, "Go Broncos!" We'd
Yeah,
much rather play the
exactly.
Broncos
Right.
than play
Then play Burrow.
than play Burrow. So then you have the Cardinals at the Rams. The Rams are rolling
I'm going Rams.
all day. Cardinals, I think, eliminated themselves this week when they lost. They lost to who the heck? They lost to someone that was. They lost to the Panthers.
But we couldn't beat them.
No,
Come on.
they
Oh
lost
my
to the
gosh.
Panthers in overtime.
Unbelievable.
You know, guy for the Cardinals made a 58-yard field goal to tie his time expired. Poor what's his name? Was so upset. Quarterback for the Panthers was so upset when he made that field goal. He's like, seriously? And
Yeah.
he went out there. They ended up driving the field. They got a touchdown to win the game. So they ended up beating the Cardinals. Good for them. They're going to be a good young team, I think, going forward. I think that benching he took it there at the beginning of the season
Definitely woke him up.
woke him up a little
Yeah.
bit. He's played 10 times better since then.
Yeah.
Realized, like I said back when they benched him, these guys have been the superstar players since they were in freaking 7th, 8th grade. 7th, 8th grade, star player in high school, star player in college.
Yep.
They get to the NFL and they think that they're just going to roll right in here and do whatever they want. Guys, everyone out there was a star player. Somewhere. So come on now. Like, you have to come out here, and I think he realized that. He got a little bit of a smack right there. The Dolphins, that's who we got. We got the Browns. Please, gosh, leave that rookie quarterback in there. This is going to hurt your soul, isn't it?
You guys should be. Well, I think I wrote it for you guys the last 2 weeks. I think you guys are going to do the same thing. Come in and win and execute. You guys have Tua. Tua is a great leader for you guys. You see the difference when Tua's not in and when he is in. So with even a slightly banged up Tua, hell, you can have a 50-50 Tua and still win that game. So I'm going to go Dolphins.
No, I'm the same. I mean, they're in Cleveland. It's going to be cold. Who knows? Maybe this is the first game that he wins under the 40-degree mark. They better win. I mean, and then that would set them up to – they need the Broncos or the Chargers to lose for the last game to matter.
Right.
So, I know Tyreek Hill, a lot of them said that he was supposed to be going – a lot of them were saying that, trainers were telling him he needs to be done and get the surgery on his wrist. He refuses. He played this past week. He got a touchdown catch.
Touchdown, yeah.
So, he just refuses. I love that he's being that way because, a lot of those star receivers are prima donnas.
And they need him.
They need him. They need him down the stretch. I'm sure if, they lose this game or those other two teams win and they're eliminated, go get your wrist fixed, brother.
Yeah,
Get that taken care of. Get ready for next year.
Right.
But from there, the next one you have the Jets woes just keep happening. Jets lost this past week. And you could see Aaron Rodgers frustrated. They got the Bills in Buffalo.
Well, we know what's going to happen there. Aaron Rodgers, get ready. They're coming for you, bud. This game might force you into retirement.
Yep. This game's going to be like, ooh. Although Buffalo's defense has looked a little suspect the last 3 weeks. You guys got touchdowns in the first drive. They finally buckled down.
That's Drake May.
They scored 86. They allowed 86 points in the previous 2 games. And then they allowed 2 touchdowns on the first 2 drives against you guys. I'm sitting there going, dude, is their defense on vacation already? They're taking a winter break or something.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on, but they finally, shut down. I remember Texas was 14-0. I remember Texas saying, man, you guys trying to make it a game.
We're trying to win. We were trying.
But I told you then, 14 ain't going to be enough.
No.
That's Josh Allen on the other side.
You can't give the ball over to him as well, so
Yeah.
do some crazy picks.
Yeah, so Josh Allen in the Bills. They
I'm
look
going
tough to
Bills.
beat. I'm going Bills all day.
Bills.
If it's less than a 2-touchdown victory, I think there's something wrong. It's only a 9.5 point spread. That seems light. But I guess it's because the Bills only beat the Patriots by 3 this week. They've only won every game. Every game they play is like a 3-point or 6-point game.
Right.
So maybe that's why. But then you have here's one of our toilet bowl of the week. Raiders at the Saints.
That's tough. They both are really bad. I'm still gonna go Raiders though. Let's go Raiders.
Raiders had 2 wins. They got a victory this past week to give them 3, so that helped you guys out.
So go Raiders. Get them
Good job.
4. Give them 1 more.
The Saints have 5 wins. It's in New Orleans. But Spencer Rattler, he looked awful last night. Like, he looked bad. Like, I turned it on, and Green Bay's also looked that good over the last few weeks. I remember they played Dolphins a few weeks ago watching that game. They looked amazing. So Green Bay's looking that good, but the Saints looked bad. So, let's go with it. The upset victory with the Raiders. I'm with you on
Yeah,
this
I'm going
one.
Raiders.
This next one, I need the Giants to win. Colts at the Giants.
I'm not rooting for New York, so it doesn't matter. As much as I want them to win, so we could slide and only have 3 wins. Yeah, I gotta go Colts. Sorry.
I'm gonna go. If
Colts.
I'm going by who I would pick to win, it's gonna be the Colts. I mean, the Giants look like the worst team in the NFL, and they look like they might be one of the worst teams
ever
in the last 10 years in the NFL. They look bad.
Yeah. Which
I tell you what, you might get a 2-for-1 special on that first draft pick. You might get a Shador, Dion, whatever, because the Bulls got to be about running out. He had that first really good season, went 10-6, where they had a weak schedule. But they beat 10 NFL teams, so they went 10-6, and since then, I think they've only won like 5-6 games total.
Right.
So, he might be out the door.
Damn.
Imagine Shador getting that number 1 overall pick. You pick Shador, and then you have Dion going, hey.
They might not even want to go to New York, though. Well, they might. New York is
if he's
New York
coach.
is cool, I guess. So yeah, I mean, in the city, they'll be in the city, so they get
Yeah.
love.
You got the eliminated Dallas Cowboys
Right.
at the Eagles.
Well, I'm gonna go Eagles on that one. I don't think Hurst. I don't know if he's cleared yet to play because of that concussion, but it doesn't really matter who's under center for them. I think they have a chance. They have a good chance to beat these Cowboys.
I would think the Eagles would win. For them, I don't think there's a point to rush Hurts back. I mean, technically they could still get the 1 seed, but you got they pretty much wrapped up the 2 seed. I mean, no one in the other 2 divisions can catch them. I don't think you're going to go ahead of Detroit or Minnesota. So I would think like you're why rush your guy in there on a concussion to where he takes another hit and then he's out. He ends up being out 4 to 6 weeks. You miss the first, second round of the playoffs, whatever. Pickens got hurt at the end there too.
Yeah.
So I don't know who was the third string quarterback. I didn't really pay attention to that. I was watching at the end. I saw, Washington going down for the win, beating Philadelphia. But it's not like it was the offense's fault because Hurts was out. They scored 33 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's football. There's nothing you can do about that. When they got your arms wrapped up and you can't do anything and you get slammed to the ground, I mean, hey man, it's one of those things. You hate to see it. I hate to see stuff like that, but it's football. It's part of the game.
Yep. So Eagles, I think go win that one. But Cowboys they don't have a lot to play for either. So they're gonna. But with them, they're playing for pride at this point. Because they're not going to get a high draft pick. They're 7-8. So they could win, be playing to try to stay at 500 above 500. They want to go 2-0 and finish at 9-8. So you got the Panthers at the Buccaneers.
Bucks.
I'll take the Bucks all day long, but I don't know how in the world they lost this past week. They blew a game that they should have won. It was bad. Like they had a fumble at the very end too. They had a chance to win it, and they fumbled at the very end. The guy toward the ball was against Dallas. That's right. So that game frustrated me because hardcore Tampa Bay.
Right.
And Tampa Bay, kind of gave that one away, but they hurt them too because that puts Atlanta in the driver's seat.
Right.
Atlanta's now tied in record, but they have the tiebreaker because they beat Tampa. I mean, they beat Atlanta Tampa in the first make they have to play again. I think they played the last game of the season.
That'll be a big game.
So whoever wins that, if they both hold serve this week, which Falcons got a tough game, we'll get on that in a sec. But if they both hold serve and win this week, then the winner of next week's game, or even if Atlanta loses, they'll be down 1 game. But if they win against Tampa Bay, they'll be tied again and they'll win both games. So next week's game is going to be for the division title. So
that's going to be a big one.
That's going to be a big game. You got the Titans at the Jaguars. That's the ultimate toilet bowl of the week. Both teams 3-12.
I'm going to go Titans.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the Jaguars.
Okay.
Go Jacksonville at home. Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese is up there.
Man, this is the game. This might be the game of the week. No offense, Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Packers at the Vikings. 11-4 Packers at 13-2 Vikings.
I gotta stay true. I think the Vikings got them.
I think, especially since it's at home, the only losses the Packers have this year, they lost to Philadelphia, they lost to Minnesota, they lost to Detroit twice. So they've lost to Philadelphia, who's 12-3. They lost to Minnesota, who's 13-2,
A good team.
and they've lost twice to Detroit, who's 13-2.
A good team.
These are the teams that they haven't been able to get over that hump yet. They're 11-0 against teams that aren't like amazing.
Right.
So, I would say, I'm gonna. Gosh, I really want to say the Packers because they played so well, but it's in Minnesota, so I'm gonna go Minnesota. As much as I want
Yep.
the Packers, see them play well, but I think it's gonna be Minnesota, and that's gonna make the game that's at the end of the season, Minnesota and Detroit next week, even more amazing. Because that's gonna be playing for the number 1 seed. It looks like.
Minnesota quietly just destroying stuff.
Sam Darnold.
Man, didn't see this coming at all.
No, I tell you what, it's been helping my fantasy team that I have I have one team that I play 2 main leagues. In my one league, I'm in the championship game. The other league, I'm playing to be last place. Try not to be last place.
Right.
There you go. But the one I'm in the championship of, I got both Justin Jefferson and Addison. They're 2 wide receivers. In the last few weeks, they've just been going off.
Crazy, right?
Going nuts. So, keep going. I need you for one more week. This is the last week of fantasy football in my leagues. So I need a victory from both leagues. So and Addison's on both my teams. I need Addison to go for 3 touchdowns and 200 yards. Asking a lot of you, but do it for me. You got Falcons at the Commanders.
Oh man, as much as I want to go Atlanta, Daniels is just shows up. He's a game changer. He's definitely a game changer for them, and they're rolling.
And they only need a victory to book their into the playoffs.
And as my dad would say, if you need a win, play Atlanta. So
they need a win.
So
this is to clinch the playoffs.
Yep. So
I'm the same way. I go Washington. Atlanta played well this week. They won like 34-7 or something. They did what they had to. Congratulations, Penix. Played decent. He didn't play great. Their defense looked really good, but he played. He didn't give the ball to the other team a bunch of times and give them a chance to stay in the game.
I wonder how Kurt feels now.
I don't know, but he got that big win. They're tied for the lead. Like I said, even if they lose this week, next week they're playing for the division. So next week's the big game. This week's almost like a tune-up game for them because even if they fall behind by 1 game, a victory over Tampa Bay puts them back in a tie, and they would have beaten Tampa Bay both times.
Right.
So that gives them the division championship. So next week's game is the big game for them. Last game, Monday Night Football. 49ers going to keep taking that beating, I think. They got the Lions at the Niners.
Yeah. Detroit, man. Mom Spaghetti. I thought I saw, what's his name, Eminem in the crowd. He was looking
a lot of games.
He's looking like a proud Detroit Lions fan. I love it, man. I have no hate towards them. I really hope that they go far, so I'm gonna go Detroit.
I'm the same way. I like Detroit. It stinks because I have nothing against Minnesota, but I really want Detroit to kind of keep going. I want them to finish on what they did last year. I want them to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I like seeing teams, Detroit, Minnesota, different teams doing well. Not the San Francisco 49ers, not the same teams, not the Philadelphia Eagles, who's still playing well, by the way. They could still definitely make the Super Bowl. Not the Cowboys. Like, I get tired of hearing the same teams in the NFC year in and year out. I want to see Minnesota and Detroit. I'd love to see that even in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Green Bay doing well again with a different young squad, and then you come over the AFC side. The thing that gets me is, like, listen, I've never had anything against Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City. I think they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think they're a good team to watch, but at some point I root for, if it's not my team, I root for someone else to do well. And being that, my better half and her father, I hear week in, week out in my house. I know they're in my division, but if they're not playing the Dolphins, I try to root for them. So Buffalo, I would like for Buffalo to play Detroit in the Super Bowl. I'd have to sit in the opposite room because I'm rooting for Detroit.
Yeah, definitely.
But
go Detroit.
But you're talking about 2 teams that have never won the Super Bowl that are playing very well. Outside of Kansas City, Buffalo is probably the best team in the AFC. Detroit is probably the best team in the NFC. That would be a fun Super Bowl. I think a lot of people would want to watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially Detroit's never been. So
they've never been
to the Super Bowl. So that'd be nice to see a team who's been a bunch of times like Buffalo has in their history, and then someone like Detroit who has never stepped foot on that main stage. So.
No, Buffalo still trying to get over that hump. They went 4 years in a row.
Mm.
NFC East got them every single time. Once by the Giants, once by the Redskins, and then twice by the Cowboys.
Sorry, guys.
4 consecutive years, they got hit by some legends out there. You know, the coaches were Bill Parcells. You know, you had Joe Gibbs,
Right.
and then Jimmy Johnson.
Right. The best coach for the Cowboys.
Yeah, you know, I think that they have a Jimmy Johnson curse because Barry Switzer did win one right after he left, and it was kind of like, you know, the rest of his players, and they kind of didn't. He didn't really have to coach anything; they'd already done it.
Just stepped in.
Just stepped in, and then he pretty much ran him into the ground. They've brought in Parcells, they've brought in McCarthy, they've brought in a bunch of big name coaches to coach this team since then, and haven't done anything. And I think it's because of the way they treated Jimmy Johnson.
Yep.
So, good luck with that. Like we said, you know, never wish death upon anyone, but I don't think that team will be good again until Jerry Jones
is out of here.
Is out of there. But you know, that's the NFL. That's things going on there. We have some NBA. We have some big games coming up tomorrow. Christmas is always a good day of NBA games. You know, the NFL games, you know, are probably going to get more views this year, get more watches because, you know, it's the NFL. But I love watching Christmas NBA games.
Always.
It's usually what I put on. So we're gonna go over those right now. We're gonna pick some NBA games.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think? Spurs, Wembanyama at the Knicks. I gave it to you right after.
You already know what's going on. The Spurs are going to take that one. Knicks aren't what they were last year. They're missing a couple pieces. I think DiVincenzo is a big loss to them because that's a spark. That young man can play.
He's underappreciated.
Yeah, that whole Villanova connection. I think when the three of them are on the court together, all three of them, I think it's some type of like magic. Now that that's gone, I mean, I look how he's playing over in Minnesota, and he's giving that team such a spark, constant spark. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to the Spurs. Wembanyama, he continues to impress.
I'm gonna go. You know me. I'm gonna go Knicks.
Right.
I'm gonna go Brunson and Cat.
Right.
You know, I think that Cat's been playing really well. I think he leads the league in rebounds. He's up there in a lot of categories. If it wasn't for a guy named Jokic, who's top 3 in all major categories, which is disgusting.
Right.
He's second in assists, second in points, third in rebounds. Like, well, that's not even normal.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Knicks on that one. You said Minnesota at Dallas. That's gonna be a fun one. Cat versus Luka.
That's gonna be.
Cat. I'm sorry. Luka versus
Kyrie. Kyrie and Luka versus what you call it? Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Yeah.
And Gobert and Randall and all of them over there.
That's gonna be a great game.
I like the way Dallas has been playing. Klay Thompson is definitely settled in. I've been watching him close on them on Dallas. They look really good. They look like they're gelling. I love the big man combo that Kyrie and Gafford. They just throwing alley-oops. They just have. I mean, this takes a lot of pressure off of Luka, so now Luka can do his thing because Luka doesn't play defense, so they can just rely on him to do what he does, and that's heavy offense. So I'm going to give it to Dallas just because the way they've been running. Love Minnesota. I love the way they play. I love the way they run. But that team is funny because some nights you get a playoff team, and then other nights they kind of just look like they don't belong. It's like they don't mesh together. And Ant-Man said something like that a couple weeks ago, how we don't have an identity. We just run around and we make plays and we try to.
They look like they're playing, you know, street ball games.
Right, exactly, and that's something that he was bringing up. So I feel like if they could somehow, and it's crazy because they're already a great team in my mind, but if they can somehow, how Dallas, they have the captains, they have the people in place. I know my role on the team, and I think Minnesota people are still trying to figure out what's my place on the team.
Who's coaching Minnesota right now?
You know, I don't know.
I don't either. Like, that's one of the things. Like, to me, like, you eventually gotta.
I think it. It wasn't. Is it still Jason Kidd? I think it's still Jason Kidd.
Is it still Jason?
Oh no, that's Dallas.
Chris Finch.
That's Dallas.
Chris Finch.
Yeah.
To me, eventually, he's gonna start taking some of the heat for this because they got the talent.
Yeah, they do absolutely.
They got the talent, and like.
I thought he won Coach of the Year a couple years ago.
He did, and that's the thing. Like, but there's too much isolation, too much. You can get away with that against bad teams, but you play a team that plays organized, and I think they've lost to Golden State like 2 or 3 times. But Golden State has struggled, but they've still found a way to beat Minnesota pretty much every time they play them. It's because Golden State plays organized basketball,
Team ball.
and they play team ball. And don't get me wrong, some of the best teams in the league, Boston, can isolate and play isolation, and because they have some of the best players in the league, and they can sit there and go one-on-one on you. But they also can pass the ball 8 times without the ball ever hitting the floor and hit a wide open guy for a 3. They play organized basketball as well. But when it comes down to needing a big shot, obviously you isolate with Tatum or Brown or whatever, and you let those guys do their thing. But you also got to be able to play organized basketball, because you're talking about the best players in the world. You can't just wing it out there. Like, they're going to tear you apart if you do that. And that's where I think Minnesota's struggling. The next game, your boys, Philadelphia at Boston.
Well, we already know Boston's got that on deck.
Yeah, I don't think I would love to pick Philadelphia.
And Embiid is cool. I like watching Embiid when I just wish he could get to the point where he's in shape and healthy. He's almost 300 pounds, but and I love a big man. I love what he brings to the game, because he has that touch. He can shoot. He can spread the floor, but we need more still. We still want to see. We want to see full potential Embiid. He should be what Jokic is.
He plays one game, he sits one game.
Yeah,
he plays one game,
and it's due to Jokic goes in. He's another big man that gets the job done, and he's out there every night. So you can't keep saying, "Oh, well, it's because he's big and he's this, he's that." No, get in shape. You got to get in some type of shape. Basketball is one of those sports where conditioning is just as important as your ability to put the ball in the floor in the court. On the court and in the basket. So I just feel we're definitely going to win that. But as a basketball fan, I look for Embiid to be better now.
I just don't get it. And I don't know how the injuries can be worse now. The game's not as physical as it was.
No.
And I was actually just messing around looking at numbers yesterday. The team with the lowest average points per game right now is 105.7. In the 96 season, when the Bulls won the NBA championship, winning 72 games, which was the record at the time. Obviously, Golden State broke the regular season record.
Right.
But they were 72-10. They would have been in dead last in points scored this year. They scored 105.2. This year, 105.7 is the lowest.
The lowest.
And then in 98, there was only 4 teams that averaged 100 points.
Right.
Every team in the NBA averages 105.7 or more, and there's a couple teams that are up right around 120.
Yeah, this goes to show you about the defense.
The defense has changed. The physicality has changed. So explain to me, how often did you see Patrick Ewing sitting?
You didn't.
David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal.
They played.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
We're playing. Those guys are playing.
They played almost every game. And I see week in and week out watching these big guys. 80s had a bunch of injuries. Embiid's had a bunch of injuries. And you're not going to tell me that it's because they have more muscle and stuff. You didn't have more muscle than Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal. Those were big dudes.
Those are big dudes.
Like, come on now. Like, I don't get it. I think they don't play through injuries like they used to, obviously. But, they want them to be at rest up and be at 100%. But at the same time, you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars. Get out there with your hangnail.
Right.
Go out there with your sore toe.
Go and play.
Like, I'd have to have something broken.
I'm out there because I know my mentality is when that next man up. What if the next man up actually starts showing out and plays better than me? Now I'm fighting for a job.
Yep.
That was my spot. Now I'm fighting for my position again. And that's what they say. You being out there, I'm gonna be out there because I'm gonna make sure that no one's gonna take my spot, and I'm gonna let these boys know that we're teammates, but at the same time, you're not gonna take my spot. I'm gonna be out here. So.
So that's the way I see it. Now next game, after your Celtics win, because I'm with you, Celtics. I would love to pick someone else besides Celtics, but the Celtics.
Go Celtics.
If they're playing Cleveland, I'd pick against
Celtics in 4.
But the next game, this one's got the matchup of 2 top 10 players. Some people even say 2 top 5 players in the history of the game. You got the Lakers at the Warriors.
That's a good game and this is on Christmas.
This is at 8:00 on Christmas.
Man, that's a good game. I gotta say, every time Curry plays LA, he shows out. But I think LA's got it. I think LA's got it. LeBron plays a little harder on Christmas. Seems like so. And AD, he's in there. He's not hurt, so they'll be using that 1-2 combination.
Is Steph Curry hurt?
Um,
I don't think so.
I don't think he's hurt.
Draymond Green's out.
I don't think he's hurt. I mean, he rolled his ankle earlier in the season. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he had a bad ankle sprain, but he's back playing. I mean,
I only asked because the Lakers are a 10.5 point favorite in this game.
mm-hmm.
I like he's sitting out or something. Like I know they've struggled, but it's not like the Lakers have been tearing it up the last whatever week. So
no.
I'm just trying to figure that out. That's a massive favorite. To put in perspective, Boston's away a 9-point favorite over Philadelphia, and that's the biggest favorite of the day is that game. This is a rematch of last night. I think. I watched it. The last game of the night at 10:30 is Denver at Phoenix.
That was a good game last night. Denver's one of those teams, man. You cannot sleep on them. You got Jokic. He's one of the best players in the league. People don't want to admit it because of how his game. He's got a very slow, unorthodox game.
It's kind of like Tim Duncan. They just don't. They're like, oh well, he's not fancy and flashy, so
you don't have to be.
You can't consider him the best player in the league.
But you don't have to be flashy. He does what he does. The ball goes in the hole at a high clip. He gets his team involved. He's one of the best big passers in the league. He's very, very, very smart. Has some of the best touch around the league. I mean, the man's got good feet. What are we talking about? His IQ is through the roof. That's one of the best basketball players in the world. And whether you want to believe it or not, if you don't believe it, you should watch more basketball and understand what I'm talking about. Because Jokic, I would pick him every day of the week to be on my basketball team if I had a team and I was picking a big man to have. He's number one. I'm sorry.
He did to me too. I was just gonna say, if you ask me who the best player in the NBA is right now,
yeah,
it's hard not to get. Is he gonna do any windmill dunks?
No.
Is he firing up and hitting 8 threes in a game?
I don't need you to.
No, but he's averaging 30 points, 10 assists.
How many blocks?
12 rebounds, and like 2 or 3 blocks a game. So I mean,
Yeah.
he's almost averaging a triple double at 30 points a game.
I'll take that. And he's doing it. I can slide a sheet of paper under his feet. That's how high he's jumping. He don't have to jump high to be effective.
Quick release.
Yeah, that's it. You get him down in that paint, though, it's a nightmare. So, yeah, they took care of business. Again, I'm a huge fan of Russell Westbrook, even though he's a hothead. And he turns the ball over. He's a very erratic player. But when that man is on, when he steps on the court, I like the electricity he brings to the team, and you see it immediately. I love his fast pace. He gets everybody else up and down the court running. You need guys like that. They have a good set of people. Michael Porter Jr. came to play. He's been quiet a couple games. He's back in action. He's playing well. Murray's doing what Murray does. You got Gordon out here now on the wings hitting threes. This is a tough team, and they seem to always be a very, very tough team. So, as much as I like Katie, as much as I like Book, I gotta go with Denver again.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think in the end of the year, when you get down to it, Denver's going to end up being the team to beat in the Western Conference. Like, OKC's playing phenomenal.
Yeah, they're great.
And listen, prove me wrong. I have SGA and Thunder keep rolling. They keep doing what they're doing. I mean, they're damn 23-5. That's a phenomenal record. They're playing great. But the games you play in November, December aren't going to help you in April, May, and June.
They're different.
So, you gotta do it when it comes down to it. And I'm sorry, you stick the Denver Nuggets with a healthy Jokic in the playoffs up there against Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals. I'm taking Denver every day.
Every day.
So, because guess what? Your record only gets you home court advantage in 4 of the games, 3 games. So, it's 4. You get 1 extra home game, but that's not gonna, you gotta still win.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm taking Jokic in that team any day of the week.
Yeah, Joker's a problem, man.
If Golden State can get a big trade, I think they're 1 player away. Draymond Green has to get healthy too. Like, I want people to understand. Like, people hate on Draymond Green all the time because he's a very volatile person. He's crazy. He's this NBA's Dennis Rodman. Ron Artest, aka Meta World Peace.
Yeah.
He's the version of that. There's always one guy that's like that in the NBA. It seems like at all times. And Draymond Green's that guy, and people hate on him. Oh, he always scores 8 points a game, and he's like an 8, 5, and 5 a lot of times, or 5 points and 7, 8 assists. That team goes as he goes. If him and Curry are not both healthy, they don't play well.
Yeah.
They're 3-7 in their last 10, and he's been out for most of them.
Goes to show you.
Goes to show you. Same thing happens a lot of times when Curry's out. When KD was there, when KD was out for a while there, they went like 13-1 without KD.
Right. They were already doing it before KD.
They won a championship before KD. They broke the regular season record for wins before KD. 1 win away from back-to-back championships, where they probably never even pick up KD.
Right.
They picked up KD to combat against that, and then they just ran through everybody for 2 years. But Draymond Green is what makes that team go. If he gets healthy and they pick up one of these pieces, they keep saying they're in trade talks with some of these big guys, Jimmy Butler, LeBron James. That just would be stupid.
That's not happening.
I don't see how LA in their right mind would trade LeBron James unless LeBron gets what he wants.
I don't think he's leaving.
I don't think he'd leave LA, but he's always said he wants to play with Steph, and I think he had a good time playing with Steph in the Olympics.
Yeah, that's different though. That's the Olympics.
They were all playing together, and that's what always gets me is somehow Steph in a building in a court full of some of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
Still separated himself at the end of the day. He still made himself. That was one of the most incredible things I've ever watched in sports.
Yeah, Steph Curry's a true legend. Come on.
So, I would like to see it as much as I'm not a LeBron guy, but I think that's the kind of guy LeBron needs. He needs a guy that he can throw it to when he drives the basket, that he knows he's going to make it.
Yep.
But I'm with you. I don't think that one happens. Jimmy Butler?
That's more foreseeable. I can see Jimmy going over there.
I can see Jimmy Butler going there and playing. I think it'd be fun to watch. And I think they're that kind of guy. You put Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry out there with some of these other guys. I think that makes them a serious contender down the thing. Celtics still in 4?
Celtics in 4. We're going back to back this year. I don't think anybody's going to beat us, barring injury.
I don't think anyone's gone back to back other than Golden State, and then did Miami go back to back?
No, I don't think so. They lost. They went back to the finals, but I think Spurs beat them.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think you have I think that would be, other than Golden State, that would be the only team in 25 years or something like that that's went back to back, or maybe Kobe and the Lakers did it. They went back to back. Phil was trying for his 4th three-peat. That's disgusting. 2 three-peats with the Bulls, another 3-peat with the Lakers, then won 2 more in a row with the Lakers, and they lost in the finals. I think that was the year is that the year they lost to Dallas?
Yeah, when Dallas took care of them. When Dirk and
Nowitzki,
Jason Kidd and all of them took care of business. Beat them like they stole something too. That was crazy. So, yeah, that was I remember that. That was a good series for sure. It's some interesting, a lot of sports going on right now. If you're a sports fan like us, there's so much to watch coming up, especially during the holidays with family and friends. That's one of the best parts about sports too. It brings so many people together. Even if you don't like that team, you can talk trash to the other teammates and stuff like that about it, and call your buddy up and we play today. You guys are going down. I mean, that's just stuff like that, man. It's fun.
And you got to share those moments with friends and family. Listen, my dad's not even a massive NFL guy. He's a baseball guy.
Right.
But he still likes watching the NFL. He enjoys watching Kansas City. Obviously, they root for the Dolphins, but they enjoy watching Kansas City. I know he roots for Kansas City whenever they're not when they're not playing the Dolphins, and they've come to root for Patrick Mahomes. They think he's a phenomenal player. But one of the things, and I've known you for 25 plus years at this point. And the funny part is we've never sat down and watched Super Bowl together, because one of my family traditions is I always go to my dad's house and watch the Super Bowl.
Right.
You got to love those things, guys. You got to take advantage of those moments, because you never know, what happens in this world. Me and my dad have always watched Super Bowl together. The only one we missed since I've been born, so that's 42 years of watching Super Bowls, was during COVID.
Right.
And that was for their safety. They have some conditions that could cause, if they got COVID, it would be very bad. So,
right.
I never wanted that. But other than that, every Super Bowl since I've been born, I've seen with my father.
Yeah.
And my mom. My mom's, I say that, my mom's probably just as big, if not bigger, NFL fan than my dad is. My mom's a sports fanatic. So, we watch those, those games, and we really, we really enjoy Super Bowl. But I still text you usually, especially when the Patriots were playing. I text you the whole dang game because I'm rooting against them every time.
Go Patriots.
Most of the time, I was disappointed, but them Giants got them 2 times.
I don't even know who the hell that team is right now.
And then Philadelphia got them once.
Ridiculous.
But 6 times they won it.
Yeah.
I always, me and Brett always texting during these games. During the NBA playoffs, we're always getting together and watching games. You got to enjoy those moments, and that's one of the best parts about us doing this. I get to see my guy more. We got busy lives.
Right.
These hour and a half, 2 hours every week that we get to sit. You guys, you got to enjoy those parts of life. You never know. We had a passing in the baseball world this past week that kind of caught a lot of people off guard. Rest in peace, Ricky Henderson.
Yes, sir. Steel base guru.
Best all-time stealing bases by far. Probably the best leadoff hitter of all time.
Man.
Most leadoff home runs in the history of baseball. Most runs scored in the history of baseball. And to put in perspective, current active MLB players, there's no one within 1,000 steals of him. He has 1,400 steals.
That's crazy.
I don't think no one's even close to him. He's got 400 or 500 more steals than anyone else in history. He broke the steals record when he still had 10 years left to play.
Crazy.
So he was phenomenal. Rest in peace to him.
Absolutely.
Family and friends. I'm sorry. Right before the holidays, his birthday was on Christmas. Christmas Day was his birthday.
Gee.
So he was 65. So you guys, you never know.
Yeah.
Enjoy your family while you can. Today's my grandma's birthday. She is 101 years old.
Wow. Happy birthday, Grandma.
So I got to give that call as soon as we get done here. We're gonna give that call. Call Grandma. Tell her happy birthday. 101.
That's a blessing.
That's amazing. Think about that, man. 1923.
Could you imagine all the things she's seen?
1923 was when she was born. She
That's
was a
crazy.
young kid through the Great Depression. Got married during World War II. Grandfather went off to World War II. She lived through that. She's been through all of it.
Everything.
I mean, she's been there. I mean, guys,
All of history.
think about this. She was born 50 years after the 50, 60 years after the Civil War.
Yeah.
And that's equivalent of basically what we went out when we were born from now.
Right.
So I mean, she was born that's crazy. So 101 years old. Happy birthday, Grandma.
Absolutely.
I go up and see her at least once a year. I've seen her twice this year. That was amazing. She lives up in Ohio. She's a Cleveland person. My first baseball games I ever watched were up in Cleveland with my grandfather and my dad. Went up there visiting and got to go see Cleveland play. Also got to go to Pittsburgh Stadium. So that was always really cool. But yeah, everyone enjoy the holidays. Spend it with family. Spend it with friends.
Eat good. Sleep good.
Have
Rest
a good time.
up. Have a great time, man.
And
enjoy these times.
And if we don't get back to you before New Year's, we'll be right after New Year's. Maybe on the might be get one in before New Year's Day or whatever. Maybe getting updates on college.
Yes,
if we don't, we'll be right after the New Year. But either way, happy holidays. Enjoy the Christmas, New Year, and whatever it is that you celebrate.
Yes, sir.
And get ready for that 2025.
Yeah.
I can't believe, man, 2024 flew by.
Went super quick.
Super quick. Be safe out there.
Yep.
Don't drink and drive.
Right.
Craziness.
And don't go to the gym 1st of January because we know you're not going to be there by March.
March.
Let the people,
January 8th.
let the people that already was in the gym be in the gym. I always say to myself, I'm going to go to the gym. And I'm in there for 2 weeks, and that's it. I had a lot more discipline in 2017.
Man,
I don't know what happened. We're going to get back.
I gotta get to that gym. I mean, I pay for the membership.
Yeah, I'm speaking of which, I'm about to go ahead and take that. Yo, they hit me $70-something, and I was like, what is this for? Some maintenance, yearly maintenance? I'm like, damn, I don't even go. So that's $80.
That's the $40 a month I'm giving you. Maintain with that.
Plus some. Damn, they charged me for 2 months. I'm like, damn, I felt like an idiot. I'm not even going. I'm just giving somebody money.
Well, that's what my thing is. This is paying for multiple Netflix accounts and stuff. What are we doing?
And not even watching it. So.
Not even that. That's the thing with me. I need to go. I did go there for a while. I had a month and a half, 2 months. I was going with my son all the time, but now he's in school. That's the thing now. He's so busy with school. He's on my membership too. Me and him both have memberships. Now neither of us are going.
Yeah. I know I won't be able to go with the newborn on the way. I got to be home, while wife is recovering. So I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do some home remedy workouts or something. I got a jump rope. I got some dumbbells. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do something because
we're big guys. We can use our body weight for those
Yeah.
exercises. Like push-ups, sit-ups.
yeah, just like my wife gained baby weight, so
Yeah.
hoodie's a little
Man,
tighter than last year.
I can tell you, I was looking back at pictures when Kate was pregnant with Gavin. That's when my weight really started to gain.
Right.
I went up. Like I've dropped a little weight here the last couple months. Just stop drinking soda. That was the biggest thing. But
Yeah.
no, that'll do it to you, man. That because they're sitting there. Number one, you don't have time to go to the gym. You're trying to get everything figured out for the baby to
Exactly.
come, and
Yep.
then you're also eating. She's hungry. You see her eating,
You're eating shit that you shouldn't eat.
and you get hungry, and you're like, man, she eating. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I want to eat.
I want that. I want that slice of pizza she had.
Yep.
I want that donut she's been craving too.
Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? Go to Krispy Kreme and just get one?
Hell no, when that red light on, you need at least a dozen. I'm gonna crush 3 on the way home. What are we talking about? We got
It's right over here.
Yeah,
we got it right down the road here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give a last shout out to all my family. Merry Christmas and everyone to you. Obviously my family here at APS. Once again, thank you to the owner and everything. She's amazing, letting us do this. Merry Christmas to her and her family.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And Merry Christmas to all my family and friends and stuff. And Brandon, Merry Christmas to you
Thank you, sir.
and your family. Tell the wife I said Merry Christmas and hi.
Same, absolutely. Merry Christmas to my family too. I'll get to see them tomorrow. Lord willing, we'll be there, eating good, watching sports.
What's
and,
mom making?
I don't know. Probably the usual mac and cheese. Probably some form of some type of chicken, maybe barbecue, some ribs. Yeah,
Woo.
man, it's always crazy. Bring your best sweats. I never wear denim or anything like that on the holidays. It's always sweatpants, something stretchy.
I'm bringing
Because-
Kate's making homemade. She made homemade mac and cheese for the first time a few weeks ago. It was good.
Okay.
She's trying to improve on it for Christmas tomorrow. She's making
Okay.
some more. She makes some homemade mac and cheese. We're doing steaks.
Okay. Love steaks.
Steaks,
Come on.
mac and cheese, mashed potatoes,
Yes, sir.
green beans and bacon.
Okay.
So that's getting some rolls, I think. I don't know.
Everybody's eating good.
I don't know. Kaylee making some fresh bread now.
I saw that.
She's making some fresh sourdough. She brought that over. Oh,
I
made
like it.
I made a homemade grilled cheese. Made that grilled cheese sandwich with multiple cheeses with that sourdough bread.
All I had was an apple today, so I know what I'm doing after this.
Krispy
besides
Kreme,
Photoshop.
red lights on, right over there.
I can't see. I need substance. It can't just be sugar. Okay. Yeah. I need a meal. A man's meal. Yeah.
I hop right down the road that way.
Yep. I'm looking at Golden Corral right here. Let's go.
All right, man. All right, well, we're gonna let y'all go. Y'all have a Merry Christmas. Love you guys. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment.
Always share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We will be back. You guys enjoy yourselves. Merry Christmas.
Peace.